There we go. We are live. What's up, everybody? Monday, March 11th. Back to a normal week. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody had a profitable weekend. Very, very indifferent for me. I think I was up like $2 yesterday, so really rolling in the dough. Half of a 20-piece nugget from McDonald's. I can't beat it. Welcome back to the East Coast.
Thanks, man.
I'm sure today sucks.
It's nice doing a show with the sun up.
Is it?
What'd you say?
Is it nice?
Well, I mean, I can't really tell because I'm back in a basement with no windows. But
okay, so perfect. Glad that sun's out though. Really changed.
It's nice waking up with the sun out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I can go in pure darkness. I don't need it. I'll take 2 vitamin D
It
tablets.
was weird. Like I did have an easier time waking up for the shows at 6 a.m. than I did today.
Wait till tomorrow or wait till Wednesday when it's probably worse.
Yeah.
6-game slate today. Interesting stuff early. The late night hammer isn't feeling very hammery, but I guess we'll get there. NBA strategy is the promo code, 50% off your first month with us. You could use it on any monthly package you choose, including stuff with Fantasy Cruncher. So if you want to come check us out, that's the promo code to use. We are also brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. You go to bit.ly/Awesemo, which I just pasted in the chat. Enter the promo code AwesemoStrat, one big word. They give you $5 free. You don't even have to make a deposit. You just get $5. So you can't really beat that. Thrive is a new DFS site where they focus on player props. They give you a list of 20. You got to pick your favorite 10. You're trying to figure out if someone's going to go over or under a particular points, rebounds, assists total. Throughout the show, Adam and I will take a look at a couple of our favorite props. I've got it on the screen right now, including my full 1 to 20 ranking already prepared.
Yeah, so I think the big thing about it only being a 6-game slate today is I'll actually have time to.
We going head to head today?
Yeah.
All right. So Thrive, if you're listening, let's put together another one of those head to heads. Game 2, Josh versus Adam. Thrive Fantasy. Stop looking at my props. I'll cover up the screen. I hit all the major details, but what I'm doing is actually on the screen right now. I am up 1-0. That's all that matters. 3 more victories, and you guys will see the sweep that we all predicted. I love it. I love it. You ready to dive into this?
Yeah.
Alrighty. First game on the slate, not your Wizards. The Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Toronto Raptors. And, the Cavs aren't very good. We all know that. They're even worse today, I think. Just to make sure that I've got it. No Tristan Thompson, clearly. No Larry Nance. No Delly. Not having Larry Nance, probably not optimal for them.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, I guess it is in that, he probably gives them an extra 1% chance to win. So every loss matters for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 10.5 point underdogs at home. It's just dreadful. A little bit of a pace up spot, though, for Cleveland. We'll start with Kevin Love, 8,600 on FanDuel, 7,700 on DraftKings, $35 on Yahoo. Not really getting all that much ownership. I don't really need the $8,600 tag on FanDuel, but $7,700 Kevin Love is someone that I have my eye on in DK.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. 86 on FanDuel seems a little steep. I haven't really been getting him on FanDuel all that much lately, and I imagine that will continue to be the case. But 7,700 is still nice. Obviously it's a difficult matchup. There is certainly risk that this game that he doesn't even see the floor in the fourth quarter. But I think that any of that stuff is factored into that price tag when you consider that we're talking about a 1.4 fantasy point per minute guy at less than $8,000 that plays around 30 minutes in competitive games. There's certainly a nice ceiling there.
Yeah, what's really, I have him projected downright poorly. He's been at 1.38 over the last 30 days. I have him at 1.25 for this game, and I still double the field. So I'm afraid to dig in a little bit further.
I have him at 1.42, and I think I might have his rates a little bit low.
Yeah. If I've got him in for 31 minutes, if he does that at 1.25, like I got 22% in my first crunch. We project him at 13. This could get massive, and it's not exactly a spot where I'm like clamoring to get Kevin Love. It's about as bad as it gets for him.
It is only a 6-game slate though, so it's not like those slates like last week where you had like 18 power forwards at the same price tag.
Sure, it's just look, I'm gonna have Kevin Love, and I'll probably be over the field, but Toronto is literally like just chock full of guys that can stop Kevin Love, whether it's Siakam. I'm just naming the guy. Siakam, Ibaka, if Marc Gasol guards him, like all of those things aren't great.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
OG,
no, I mean it's
like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not a spot where I'm just like excited to get him in and then going to Twitter and making fun of people right after lock for not having him.
Yeah. That's how it is on paper for me. I don't feel the same way about this game, like just in general.
It's a spot where if I were like hand building lineups, I probably would end up with much less than I will since I don't hand build lineups.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Not saying that like if you're hand building, you shouldn't have Kevin Love. Saying that like my brain wouldn't put him in lineups, but the computer will. That's
a perfect way to describe it, in my opinion. I would not think like, all right, I got to make sure I get Kevin Love in here against the Raptors, and that's probably a good thing. It's a good point for a lot of people in that this is a perfect example. Well, God, not even probably the right way to say it. It's a really good example of how much defense probably doesn't weigh into these scenarios. Like everything is going against Kevin Love in this spot. The lowest implied total, a very difficult defensive matchup, no help. And even when you take all of that stuff into account, he still grades out really well at 7,700 because price is the biggest piece of this.
Right.
Across
and
the board.
It goes back to a conversation that we had in Slack over the weekend. And it's obviously a difficult matchup, but that's factored into projections. And so I have him projected as a good play. If he was in a better matchup, I'd have him projected as a guy that I can't pass on at all. Like if he was playing, Brooklyn or something, I would have him projected as an even better play. But the point is that he could be playing, the 2004 Pistons at 7,700 and I'd have interest.
Yep. That's perfect. Yeah, we did touch on it in Slack a little bit, but it doesn't become just a cross-off. Like when you see that matchup, you factor it in and then find out what happens because, the Suns beat the Warriors. Like there's no... Just because the Raptors are favored by 10 points. More often than not, they're probably going to beat the Cavs by 10 points. Cavs can win this game. It's just, you don't think about that previously. And in the instances where the Cavs are in this, I assume Kevin Love has quite a bit to do with it. I also, I like way more from the Cavs than I care to want to.
Yeah, for me, it's is kind of loose, but I like more Cavs today than I do most days, and that's really doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Jordan Clarkson, 5,200 on FanDuel, 5,100 on DraftKings, 19 on Yahoo. How many minutes do you have Clarkson projected for?
29.
Okay. Well, then I can't even make this one get better for myself. I have 28.97 for the game. I'm double the field on FanDuel. I am triple the field on DK. He's at 7%. I've got 22. How do you want to manage Jordan Clarkson?
Yeah, he comes out as in 29 minutes. I get him as like a reasonable play. I have him actually behind Chetty and behind Zizic from the Cavs. But 5,100. There's definitely some upside there.
Oh, it's so scary.
I don't think I'll get a ton though.
I hope that I don't when all is said and done, but as of right, I need to dig into his rates just a little bit more and see if I can ding him, bring him down a little bit. I got to get over the mental, the mental block is real in my head too, even though everything that I do is in the spreadsheet, but just thinking, can't wait to get a lot of Cavs here. I might have 2 Cavs in one lineup, and it's just like, okay, cool. The Raptors might beat him by 40. Zizic, 3,600 on FanDuel, 3,900 on DraftKings. Don't overthink it. He's just most likely going to have to play 25, 26 minutes, something like that, without Nance, without any other real centers.
I have him at 30.
Okay. I got him at 26, and I get, quite a bit. I'd be like, I can see him getting to 30. I don't have much of an issue there. Prior to missing those 3 games, he played 30 twice. I just don't know if they like run him out that entire time, but I don't know. If I bump him up, I just get him more. I'm clearly getting him one way or the other. I don't think that I need to go much higher, but you have to play him. He's I would imagine, starting center, playing at least 26 minutes, barring foul trouble, at less than 4K on both sites.
And also keep in mind that when he was starting before, when this is when Love and Nance were out, maybe, or at least Love was out, but he was getting blowout run too. Like there was that game where he was, had like 9 points going into the third quarter of a 30-point game, and then just doubled in the fourth quarter because he played the entire fourth, down by 25 or 30. So I think his minutes should be pretty safe.
Yeah, I just bumped him back up to 28, and he's pretty popular in my sheet, that's for sure. And I feel the same way about Marquise Chris, although I really don't like Marquise Chris. But $3,500 flat minimum drop on FanDuel. He should see 20-plus minutes. So I will work Marquise Chris in as a drop guy. And I will work him in mildly on DraftKings at 3,400 and be really uncomfortable about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a decent chance that Marquise Chris isn't in the league next year, so I tend to want to pump the brakes on exposure to guys that might not be in the NBA 6 months from now.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point.
Yeah. I assume you have no one else from Cleveland unless you're a Chetty or Sexton guy.
I have some interest in Chetty at 5K flat on DraftKings. I mean, 32, 33 minutes should be there. More time potentially at the 4 with Nance out. So possibly more productive minutes there too. I'm never a big Chetty guy, but I think the price tag's cheap enough here where I don't mind it.
Yeah, he grades out well for me. He just didn't show up in crunches. I'm trying to see who around him is owned. He's at 10% right now. So
for you or for projected ownership?
Projected ownership. So would you rather have Chetty or Karis LeVert?
Give me a second, but I think Chetty.
Okay.
Just because of the minutes.
It's close. We have LeVert at 1%. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Where the hell is Karis LeVert?
Like if Chetty is at 10% and Karis LeVert really is at 1, you'll probably win more money by just simply flip-flopping those things long term.
Yeah, I have Chetty way higher than LeVert.
Way higher. Okay.
Like 4 DraftKings points higher.
Okay, so I actually have LeVert a point ahead of him. So we'll get to that when we get to Brooklyn. Just looking at other guys around there. Fareed, I don't think that we could pay too much attention to right now just because of his health. But who knows how many minutes he plays.
Is he in or is he expected to play or trying to play?
I think he's in.
Whatever he was doing the other day.
I think he's in. I think the reports yesterday were like, he's not playing today, but he is playing tomorrow.
Yeah, because you know what I'm referring to. Like he's going to try and play. Fareed in, and then like 2 minutes after the game, Fareed out.
Let's see. Who else is in this range that could be interesting? I don't know. We're probably spending too much time on Chetty. Let's go to Toronto. Pace down, but can't get a much better defensive matchup. 116.25 implied total, 4th highest on the slate. Kawhi, 9,800 on FanDuel, 8,600 on DraftKings, $41 on Yahoo. He's at 10 and 12% respectively in our projected ownership. I got 5 and 2. I think I've finally come around on just not having Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, time.
Yeah. A little slow to the draw. I don't see the need.
Yeah, I mean, I assume he's better on FanDuel like always, but I mean 8,600 on DraftKings.
I was going to say like it's pretty close today now because of that ridiculous price tag.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm fine with whatever Kawhi I get. It's just that the same thing we always talk about. Like he's just a better cash play than tournament play because of the lack of volatility in his game.
Yeah, like he needs like 55 to be a really awesome play at that DraftKings salary. That can absolutely happen here because of how bad Cleveland is, but it's just still not the kind of priority that I'm looking for. I would have no problem slotting him in a cash game, though. Not at that salary. Siakam, 7,700 on FanDuel, 7,200 on DraftKings. I got quite a bit of him on FanDuel. That $7,700 price tag feels pretty good here.
Yeah, it's a really nice price tag on him. I mean, if this game's competitive, he should see, 34 minutes or somewhere around there in a really nice spot.
Yeah, I have him in for 34 right now. This looks fantastic. I mean, he basically has a date with either Kevin Love or Marquise Chris. Neither of those two things are like terribly scary for him. Kevin Love, Kevin Love is trying to guard Pascal Siakam, that's a really bad look. After that, I don't really have any interest in Toronto. I got 54% Jeremy Lin in my first crunch as like a drop guy.
Have fun with that.
I mean, like that's just sort of a structural thing than like a Jeremy Lin thing. So don't anybody.
No, I just meant I've had a lot of Jeremy Lin several times since he went to Toronto, and it's just been a miserable experience.
Yeah. So just in case anybody sees the screen and sees that I have 54% Jeremy Lin, that is all that's telling me is I would like to punt a lot of point guard as of right now. That's all. It has nothing to do with Jeremy Lin specifically. I would probably not have 54% Jeremy Lin. He's at 17% expected ownership, so there is that. I don't have anything else here, do you?
He's just looked freaking bad.
Yes, he has. 8.84 FanDuel points per minute over his last 30 days.
I would have actually guessed lower than that.
Yeah. He's almost as low as Danny Green.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you have interest in whichever center starts?
So I gave Ibaka 27 minutes right now, and I gave Gasol 21. At which point the answer is no if it's Ibaka.
Yeah. He
could have got to like 30 in this last game.
What'd you say?
Ibaka probably would have played like 30, I guess.
Yesterday.
He didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. Gasol got most of the run, and then it was a blowout. So
yeah, I mean, and they were on an 18-4 run, so the bench just stayed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the weird thing looking at their last two games. Yesterday when Ibaka started, and then the 8th, which I guess was Friday when Gasol started. So Gasol was in some foul trouble, but you got the backup center playing like most of the fourth quarter, but both times the bench went on like a monster run to open the fourth, so that could be why. So I think I would still project like something like you said, 27, 21, 26, 22, something like that in favor of the starter.
Yeah. If Gasol, that's really like if Gasol starts, I probably take a little bit of a closer look on DK, but I just don't get the sense that I want either one of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's probably it for me here. Now because we're gonna have a lot to talk about right here.
This game should be like they should like flex this one to 10:30, move the Boston game up.
I wish.
The Sacramento game, I mean.
I wish. They're both in the wrong place.
Yeah.
The Washington Wizards hosting the Sacramento Kings. 121.25 implied total for the Wizards, 119.25 for the Kings. I never thought that the Wizards could be favored by 2 at this spot late in the season. And now, just like the fact that they are holding it together and like are functionally solid, really puts into perspective how bad that John Wall contract is.
Yes, it does.
So, if you were the Wizards, would you want to shut Bradley Beal down right now? I'm leading you somewhere.
I mean, they may as well. But
if he makes an All-NBA team, he can get offered the Supermax. At which point they can pay him like Wall.
Oh, okay. But can they pay him like Wall?
Well, sure. Jan Mahinmi's got to expire sometime.
Yeah, that's true. How much longer do they have Beal? I can't remember.
Another year after this, I think.
Okay.
Also interesting is and this is part of the reason why I thought Karl-Anthony Towns was going to play yesterday. If he makes an All-NBA team this season, since he's already signed the deal, but it has not kicked in, he automatically gets boosted up to the raises for the designated player extension. So him making third team All-NBA center is a massive, massive financial question that is in play. So if you think that Karl-Anthony Towns might get like shut down this season for the Wolves, think again, because there's like $30 million on the line for him.
Well, wouldn't that give the Wolves a reason to shut him down? Not that it would be.
And
not that
Karl-Anthony Towns is probably going to chirp in the media for that one.
Yeah.
So if you think that he's going to get put on ice, he has a very realistic chance to be the third team All-NBA center. And that is, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Anyway, Beal made me think of that. Wizards, 2-point favorites. Massive pace game here. I don't think anybody's shocked by that. Tough defensively. Kings are solid on D. Wizards, not great, but they're probably in like the second, third. Am I saying that correctly? They're like 20th.
Over the last I don't remember what I looked the other day at, if it was the last month and a half or something, they were like second worst.
Yeah, I have them at plus.
No, I think it might have been since the trade deadline.
Okay. Yeah. In their last 15, I have them plus 2% for fantasy stats on average. Anyway, Beal, 10-8 on FanDuel, 9,700 on DraftKings, 47 on Yahoo. This is really, really surprising to me. I don't have any.
I am pretty confident I'll have some on DraftKings at the very least.
Yeah, I got 0% in my first FanDuel crunch and 1 on DraftKings. So I don't really know how to reconcile that information. I think that, and we touched on this, I think that we touched on it Friday. Beal's price seems to be the one that isn't getting discounted on DraftKings like everybody else's.
Right. But I still have him projected for 54 points.
Oh, okay. So we are different here. I have him at 48. Like, would you rather have Bradley Beal or Donovan Mitchell? Same ownership.
Yeah. I don't remember. I'm looking at Mitchell's price. I don't remember what it was.
84.
Beal.
Okay. It's something I'll probably take. I don't even know what I would change, but I have him projecting out really poor. 38.
Okay, I'm at 40.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what I need to do.
He's at 1.3 points per minute since the deadline on DraftKings. I have him projected for 1.36 today.
I'm low on that number too, but I'm going to give him the 40 minutes because I mean he plays it a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly a median projection.
Yeah. It's just, and I'm sure you can relate. 36 is generally like the normal ceiling. 38 is usually like the ceiling of, okay, this guy does play more.
Yeah,
it's really hard to get to 40.
Yeah, 36 is my ceiling. 38 is my like superstar ceiling. 40 is like my Bradley Beal ceiling.
Yeah. Okay, so if I do that, I'm likely to get a little bit more. I would lean towards Beal over Donovan Mitchell as well, but it's close.
Yeah, I think it's close. Well, I don't really think it's close. I think that Mitchell's a really good play. I think that Beal's just like off the charts for me.
When I say that it's close, it's close all things equal. Like, I clearly think Bradley Beal is more likely to outscore Donovan Mitchell, but taking into account the additional 1,300.
Sure.
But that's probably enough on Beal when we have 12 other guys to talk about in this game. Trevor Ariza, 6,400 on FanDuel, 6K on DraftKings. I got like double the field here. Any issues?
No. Where is he? There he is. I have him as a good but not great play at 6K on DraftKings.
Okay. It's probably going to be easier to just batch this. So I got Ariza over 20%. I got Satoransky over 20%. I've got Jabari Parker and Thomas Bryant both in the teens. Parker in the 20s on DK.
Shit, how many minutes do you have Thomas Bryant? Oh, he's 4,100. But how many minutes do you have Thomas Bryant at?
18.
Okay, yeah, I have 17. But he graded out well. Or he graded out okay in 17 minutes, which obviously he potentially could get more.
Yeah. And then Jeff Green is in the teens in ownership. I do not have him as much. The one guy that I really am not getting to is Bobby Portis. So hit me with your Washington takes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the same thing as always as far as the front court just being. It's not even that they're a mess. Like they're pretty consistent in their rotation, but there are so many interchangeable pieces that you can't be totally confident. You know, it's not a Bradley Beal situation where there's just no one that's going to play minutes over him.
Right, like if Jeff Green is playing well, or if like Thomas Bryant is playing well, he'll just get a couple extra more minutes.
Right,
like
exactly.
They have a lot of options.
Right. The one thing to keep in mind rotation wise is that we really don't see Portis and Bryant play alongside each other. So I wouldn't want those two in a lineup together.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I tend to just make it so like I don't get more than two of Portis, Ariza, Parker, Green, Bryant.
Sure.
Because I don't think I need more than two. But for me on DraftKings at least, Portis is my favorite out of the front court. I have him at 27 minutes. He played 21 2 games ago in a game where it was actually the first game in a while. I think it was 2 games ago where we had seen him and Bryant not combined for 48 minutes. But then he came back against Minnesota, played a total of 30 and a half, including 2.5 in overtime. So 28 in regulation. I have him at 27 here. He grades out pretty well for me. After that, I have Parker, who is, I think his minutes are less secure, obviously. But he's also pretty fairly priced, I think, at 5,400 on DraftKings. He's averaged almost 1.1 points per minute since joining the Wizards. So the opportunity or the production is there. He's actually played well for the Wizards. It's just a matter of, there are so many bodies and he has to get on the floor. 4,400 Jeff Green is fine for me. Same with Ariza at 6K. Neither of them, I'm not too excited about either of them. I think most of my exposure here will end up being the Portis.
Interesting. I have him in for 28 minutes. I got, 10% on DK. He's at 16. I don't know what I would change here.
I have him at 1.26 points per minute.
I have him at 1.11.
He's 1.18 since joining the Wizards.
Was anybody out for the Wizards in the last game or two?
No.
So I don't know what I would change. Oh, look, I'm comfortable. He's not a flat 0 for me, so I'm just slightly under the field. Field's at 16, I'm at 9, so that can clearly wiggle.
I haven't run a crunch yet. My just kind of gut guess is that I would end up right around that 15% spot.
Yeah. All right. Let's
don't sleep on Satoransky.
Oh, I will not be sleeping on Satoransky. We don't ever sleep on
Satoransky.
Yeah, I got 22% on DK and 24 on FanDuel. He is projected for 34% ownership on FanDuel tonight.
Whew. What's his price?
63.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing big minutes again. It looked for a stretch like he was going to kind of get the short end of the stick, and the Wizards were going to go to that like crazy big lineup with Jeff Green for 3. But no, he's back to playing like 35, 36 a night.
Portis going to play 30 minutes in this game. They need his defense.
They need his what?
That's the most recent message in the YouTube chat.
If you said rebounding, I would have said okay.
That's why I said it out loud. You reacted exactly like I would have liked you to. Yeah, not a notorious defensive player here, Bobby Portis. And by not notorious, I mean he's downright terrible. If Washington needs Portis for the defense, who the hell else is out there?
Thomas Bryant, Jabari Parker, and Jeff Green.
Oh, what? Oh my God! Like that's fantastic. If they need defense, it's probably Jeff Green.
This team does. I mean, the
They're
way
not
they're
looking for
assembled,
defense either.
they don't do defense. They just try and score more points.
Mm-hmm. As they should. That is how they're laid up. That's what happens when you have, Beal, Portis, Jabari Parker,
Yeah.
who might be the most flagrant non-defensive player in the league.
The second you trade Otto Porter for Jabari Parker and Bobby Portis, you are making a statement that you are just going to run and gun and try and score more points than the other team.
We clearly don't give a shit about the other side here. Wow, that's fantastic. What was I just looking at? Oh yeah, Portis. Who's around Portis on DK? 5,900. Would you rather have Portis or Montrezl Harrell at 6,200?
My guess is
Harrell is 7% owned right now. Portis
Yes.
16.
So assuming my baseline rates on Harrell are correct, I have Portis slightly ahead.
Okay. I assume you prefer Portis to Ariza.
Correct.
Tatum is questionable, so we'll ignore that. Can't compare him to himself. Portis or Derrick Favors? 5,800 on Favors.
I have Portis.
Okay.
At least at the moment.
Well, you're at least going to make me take a closer look at Portis. But
Favors
for now,
is-
I basically just want to have the rest of the Wizards.
You said what?
I said, for now, I basically just want to have the rest of the Wizards, like, more.
I still have. I bumped Favors a bit just to account for the way he's been playing over the last month and a half, but I still have Portis ahead of him.
Okay. Anything else for Washington?
No. Yeah. So I just pulled up like all the forwards on DraftKings, and I have Portis right now ahead of basically everyone in his price range. Like I have him close to Ingles. Harrell's close.
Ingles.
Gallo is close.
I must not have any Ingles. Okay. I actually have Portis ahead of Gallo.
Yeah, so do I.
Alrighty. Let's go to Sacramento. Also, fast-paced matchup here. Buddy Hield, 7,400 on FanDuel, 7,400 on DraftKings, $31 on Yahoo. He's popping as my best play today, so I'm going to need you to talk me through this one.
It's not going to happen. I mean, he's not my best play. He's a phenomenal play, though.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
he's grading out top of the line. I got more than 50% on my first run.
I would be perfectly fine with that.
Whew, that makes me happy.
Like, he's good. The price is nice. The minutes are there. But then also it's just like a dream matchup for him, not only because Washington plays fast and because they suck at defense overall, but they've been bad at defending the three-point line all season long. Yeah. That hasn't changed recently. You're talking about he's one of the best, if not the best, three-point shooters in the NBA right now, percentage-wise for the season. Not saying that he's like actually a better three-point shooter than Steph or something, but
he's a great three-point shooter one way or the other.
What did you say?
He's a great shooter one way or the other.
Yeah, it's just an absolute dream matchup for Buddy Hield.
Yeah. Okay, so we are on the same page there. 27% ownership on FanDuel, 15 on DK. Now I get it. That DK price tag is real shitty compared to the FanDuel price tag, but it's not changing the way that I want him. In my best lineups, they all have Buddy Hield.
And it's not shitty for the projection or for Buddy Hield. Like, it might be worse than the FanDuel price tag, but it's still a real nice price.
Correct. Yeah, it's relatively worse, but it's still not bad in its own vacuum.
Yeah, I mean, I have Hield projected for 44 points, 36 minutes on DK.
35 and 42.6, so we're basically exactly the same there.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same way about Bogdan. 5,900 on FanDuel, 5,500 on DK. He's another guy where I'm at 40% on FanDuel and 55 on DK.
That seems right. How many minutes do you have him at?
33.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I have too. I'm coming in a little lower than you. Like, I have him as like a better play than I have him as like similar to Ariza, which I don't really like. I feel like he's a better play.
So I have their projections separated by 0.1. He's just $500 cheaper.
Yeah. I have Bogdan at 30.5 on DraftKings, which just feels really low. I have Ariza at 32.5.
Okay. Yeah, I would have a much easier time getting to Bogdan over Ariza. Similarly, like him and Ingles, I have him over basically everyone at either shooting guard or small forward. He's essentially my favorite play there.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't projected so since the start of February he's at 0.9 DraftKings points per minute, and I haven't projected for 0.93 today. It just feels like he should get more of a boost than that against the Wizards.
Yeah, from the defensive matchup and the extra possessions and stuff. Either way, I want a ton of Hield and I want a ton of Bogdan. We will get this question, so we might as well give out that answer. How do you feel about playing them together?
Let me double check their last rotation. I don't love it. Well, it's tough because on one hand they're not playing. Their minutes were staggered against the Knicks.
Yeah.
And they're both going to get minutes, so it's nice because they're not sharing the court the whole time. But on the other hand, if Hield were to lose minutes somehow, it would benefit Bogdan. But the price tags are cheap enough. I guess I actually would be fine playing them together.
Yeah. Bogdan being at 5,500 makes it palatable that they can both get there. I wish that it's hard to say. Like, I wish that Hield's price was better on DraftKings because no shit. But like, I don't think that there's. Ultimately, the goal would be what 50 out of Hield, 40 out of Bogdanovic. So you're looking to get 90 out of the two of them to win a tournament.
Yeah,
like it probably wouldn't be my first build if I were building just one line here, especially if they end up getting a little bit chalkier through the day. But if that's where I ended up and I had that money, I wouldn't stop it just because they're on the same team.
Yeah, I'm not setting a rule not to have them both.
Exactly. That's perfect. Now, if I saw that I got them if I ran 150 and I found out I got them in, 45 of the 150, I might pause a little bit and try to mix it up. I like having both of those guys, and I know we'll get that question. How do you feel about De'Aaron Fox?
Worse than Hield?
Yeah, me too. He's still very, very playable. I'd say mid-teens ownership works for me, and that's where he is for the public.
Yeah. He's a big pick and roll guy, right? Just going off memory.
Fox?
Yeah.
Not that I can picture.
Huh?
Not that I picture.
I thought I remember looking it up earlier and being kind of surprised.
I mean, obviously he's a transition guy, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Are you pulling it up?
Yeah.
You'll probably beat me.
Yeah, right.
NBA.com is not moving very fast. And by not moving very fast, I mean at all. There we go.
Okay.
Is play type data in a weird spot now?
No, it's in the same spot.
Okay.
40.9% pick and roll frequency for Fox.
Okay.
He ranks
67th percentile.
He's averaging the 17th most pick and roll possessions per game. My point was just going to be that Washington's been shockingly good at defending it.
Okay. Yeah, he's been slightly above average, at least from a scoring frequency. I didn't realize you ran that much pick and roll.
I only remembered because I had looked once before and it's been like, oh wow.
Yeah. Picture him being in transition so much. I don't have any Willie Cauley-Stein. I have a very small amount on FanDuel of Harrison Barnes, a little bit more on DK at 5,200. I've got quite a bit of B Jelly though, so I'd like to get your thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean the minutes for Bielitsa scare me. He played 28 last game, which obviously is great. Still terrifies me. But played 30 the game before that, 24 the game before that. So yeah.
Yeah, I gave him 24, and that gave me 24% ownership on FanDuel and 24% ownership on DraftKings. So 24 is apparently the number for Bielitsa today.
Yeah,
that's where the public is as well. So that kind of scares me.
I feel like I should have more Cauley-Stein because I feel like he's going to go absolutely nuts here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that I didn't get him here either. But look, there's never a shortage of centers. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, would you rather have Willie Cauley-Stein or Bobby Portis?
My numbers say Portis.
Okay. Yeah, so do mine.
If I weren't looking at numbers, I would say Cauley-Stein.
Okay. I'm just gonna have a lot of this game.
Yeah, same here. I really hope my projection on Cauley-Stein just like climbs as the day goes on.
See, I have no Willie Cauley-Stein and I have a little bit of Harry Giles, so I'm sort of okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
but we're projecting Willie Cauley-Stein for no ownership.
It's just such a perfect spot for him.
I know. Tricky. I'll dig into him a little bit more, but I don't get the sense that I'm going to have too much of him. He's overpriced on DraftKings.
Like, he can just go for 40 here.
Yes, he can. With very little effort.
Yeah. Like, it's just frustrating because I can already tell I'm not going to get a lot of him, but it's just such a spot where he could have like 11 and 6 at the end of the first quarter or something.
The inverse Kevin Love tonight.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Is that enough on Wiz Kings?
Are you doing anything with Barnes?
I'll have him.
Yeah.
I don't want to. He's terrible.
Hield's clearly the top play for us, though, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Buddy Hield, Thrive Fantasy, everybody. We have Buddy Hield. Points. 18.5. You get 95 for the over.
How many points do you have him projected for?
Well, I'll say this much because we're clearly on the same side here. And we're clearly... You want to get into the game theory of this, even though we've been told on Twitter that there is no game theory in this. I don't mind giving this one away. I've got Buddy Hield at 26.1.
I have him at 28.1.
Yeah, he is my number one Thrive prop. Gonna be hard for me to shake that one loose. So, yeah, there's the Buddy Hield prop for you guys. And since we're in this game right now, Bradley Beal assists 5.5 is the number. You get 105 points for the over. How you feeling about Buddy Hield tonight?
I still feel great about Buddy Hield since the last time you asked.
For Thrive assists, man, not overall.
Well, no, but you said Hield instead of Beal.
Did I?
Yeah, and 7.6 assists on Beal.
Okay, yeah, I also have the over as well on Beal. So yeah. You and I are in the same page there, but the Beal one is not nearly as egregious as the.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't laugh out loud when I saw it. It's only 40% over the projection.
Yeah, he is one with a bullet for right now. We got a question. What's the promo for Thrive? You go to bit.ly/Awesemo, which I am pasting into the chat. You heard that correct. I pasted it. Didn't have to type it and screw it up the first time. The promo code is AwesemoStrat. One big word. Yeah, you nailed it, Daniel. Good work. Moving on.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The Brooklyn Nets hosting the Detroit Pistons. 112 implied total for the Nets, 110 for the Pistons. An oddly important game for the East, which you would not have expected. Pistons defense 6% better than average over their last 15 games. They have been downright dirty.
Yeah, so please explain to me this Karis LeVert take.
Okay, yeah, let's get there. A little bit of a pace down spot, very difficult matchup. We'll get to LeVert since we got a couple guys first that have some pretty crazy pricing. Wait, what was my Karis LeVert take?
That you liked him more than someone who's way better than him.
I liked him more than Chetty if Karis LeVert is 1% and Chetty is in the teens.
Yeah, so you like Karis LeVert. He's your boy.
That's one way to read into it. D'Angelo Russell, 8,600 on FanDuel. 8K on DK, getting around 10% ownership on both sites. I don't have him really on FanDuel. I barely have him on DraftKings. This does not feel like a spot where I want to try to get cute with Russell.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Detroit's just been so good defensively. Russell should play 31, 32 minutes, but with the bodies back, that's not a guarantee either. He's clearly good, but there's a lot of options. And I mean, you talk about, obviously not actually, I guess they are the same position on FanDuel and kind of on DraftKings, but 8K for Russell or 7,400 for Heald. I would need a pretty big ownership gap to be paying that extra money for Russell.
Yeah, I completely agree. Spencer Dinwiddie, 7,400 on FanDuel. You should be able to comfortably just not even look there. He's 6K on DK. What do you want to do with Dinwiddie here?
I
didn't get him, but I would. This is one of those spots where I would think that I would.
Yeah, I mean, 6K is certainly a pretty nice price tag. I think I probably get more of him than Russell. Playing 30 minutes a night, basically. Playing well. We had seen him, kind of struggle before his injury, but he's, turned things around a bit. Still not going to get a ton, I don't think.
Okay. I want to see who's around him.
1.2 points per minute in the 5 games since he returned.
Yeah, that I'm not super confident in. I have as a true talent way lower than that.
Yeah, I do too.
I did only give him 27 minutes though, and this basically comes back to I don't know who to take them from.
Caris LeVert.
Well, let's have that conversation then. I have Caris LeVert with 26 minutes.
Yeah, I have 23.
Okay. Why?
Because I think he plays 23 minutes. I mean, he's just kind of been the odd man out since Dinwiddie finally started getting back to his 30. Like if you give Dinwiddie 30, you give Russell, 31, 32. You give Harris his 31 or 32. Yeah. Crabbe's playing anywhere between 26 and 28. I just can't find minutes for LeVert. He's played like shit. He's had his minutes cut. He lost his spot. Like he's losing minutes to Allen Crabbe.
Yeah, I just took 2 from LeVert and took him down to 24 and then gave them to Dinwiddie to take Dinwiddie to 29. I think that probably fits a little bit better. And I would guess that I'd get a couple shares of him. And I probably do. I can see now why you don't really have a ton of interest in Caris LeVert either.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I was like pounding it for him or anything. He was at 1% expected ownership. That seemed low to me compared to guys like Chetty.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. Jared Allen, 6,500 on FanDuel, 4,800 on DraftKings. I didn't get any, and it makes me feel like I didn't include him in my projections because we are projecting him at 19% ownership.
I'm still really pissed off about his last game because it was the day that they were playing the Hawks and Alex Len was chalk, and I wrote in my article like Jared Allen's a great pivot away from Alex Len, blah blah blah, and I just assumed I was going to end up under the field on Len and over on Allen. I didn't even double check it until after lock and was just like, oh shit, like I didn't do that. And then
now I'm over the field on Len and I don't have Jared Allen.
Yeah, I was under the field on Jared Allen.
There you
go. Yeah.
So how do you feel today?
I was pissed off.
This is not a great Jared Allen spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm less interested today. Like the minutes are, should be there. We've at least seen Hollis Jefferson kick back out of the rotation, which is nice because you're back to getting 48 minutes between Allen and Davis. It is a big front court, which is nice too.
Mike Ostry in YouTube chat. Jared Allen is projected for 32 points in 28 minutes in my initial projections. That 32 number is pretty healthy. I have him at 23.8.
Points?
Fantasy points?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
23.8?
Yes.
I have him at 30.3.
Okay, well, let's talk about this then. I think that he takes a major hit in this game. The pace is down. Their implied total is down. It's the most difficult defensive matchup on the slate based on, their last 15. But just in general, Pistons have been fantastic. every sign is pointing against him. So how many minutes did you give him?
28.
Okay. I could easily give him another minute, but I don't like everything is going against Jared Allen for me here. It really it has a major negative impact on his average rates. He takes a huge hit just for this game.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I have him around 30.
Although I could probably make a case that he's mildly low. Do I have any other adjustments in here? I don't. What do you have his usage at for this game?
15.
I'll give him the hook, I guess. That puts him at 15. Yeah, this is going to be a spot where I'm not with the public. 19% is a lot.
Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if I got that high, but I definitely like him more than you do.
Obviously, these are different price points, but he is 1% behind Drummond.
For what it's worth, he has wrecked the spot before.
What do you mean?
So this season, he has played Detroit 3 times.
Okay.
37 and 33, 39 and 30, 26 and 22. Last season, he started against Detroit twice, 28 and 30, and 46 and a half and 32.
When did those games happen?
All in this season?
Yeah.
All in October.
Oh. Yeah, I'm fading Jared Allen tonight.
I'm going back to double check and see if Drummond actually played. Oh, wait, one of those was a preseason game, so ignore that. So they've played twice in the regular season. Drummond played both of them. Drummond went absolutely nuts in both of them, not surprisingly.
No.
But Allen had one good game and one. Point per minute wise, they were both good.
Okay.
He went for in the first game, he played 30 minutes, 17 points, 10 rebounds. In the second game, he played 22 minutes, 14 points, 9 rebounds, fouled out.
We have Ed Davis at 17% ownership.
3,200 is nice.
It really is.
If only he weren't strictly a center, which I mean is obviously correct, but
yeah,
power forward on FanDuel.
Yeah, he's at 20% on FanDuel.
I had him in almost 100% last slate. It didn't work out, but I would absolutely do it again.
Yeah, I remember you. I don't remember where you sent the message, but I remember you just being like, "Hey, by the way, I have an overwhelming amount of Ed Davis."
Yeah,
Ed Davis. I feel like I haven't heard that name before, for today. So I went and looked at it, and I had 40% Ed Davis on FanDuel. I was like, "Oh, that's just how this is shaking out."
Yeah, power forward was terrible.
Yeah,
and Ed Davis was 3,800 against the Hawks.
Yep. I'm basically not going to have any part of Brooklyn here, and I'm very comfortable with it. I don't like the matchup.
Yeah, it's fine. Allen will be my highest owned guy, I would think.
Crazy. That'll be... Is he on... I don't think he's on Thrive tonight. Nope, just Russell. All right, Pistons. Pace up spot. Not a great implied total. 110 is third lowest on the slate. We've got Drummond at 10.6 on FanDuel. Blake is 8,300. Guys and their pricing. On DraftKings, it's 9,100 to 8,300. $46 to $37 on Yahoo. Quick on FanDuel, I have more Drummond than I have Blake, but I have them both over 20%. Blake at 29% expected ownership. Just a massive, massive number. As expected, he is third overall in our ownership projections. Drummond is at 12%. I have more than double the field there. On DK, Drummond at 20. I'm right there with the field. Blake at 14. I am under. Give me your holistic thoughts on Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin.
Really like both. I like Drummond more. It's just a spot where he should go absolutely nuts. He's obviously been playing really well. Over the last couple of months, he's averaging 0.2 of a point more per minute than Blake. But it's a Brooklyn team that just gets abused on the glass by opposing centers. And really gives up monster games. Not surprisingly, we've seen Drummond have plenty of success in his first 2 meetings here, and I would expect more of the same. I think that he's one of the most underpriced guys on the slate for me, at least on DraftKings at 9,100. Blake at 83 is a really good play as well. Have him a little bit behind Drummond, but I still think I'll get a pretty healthy amount of Blake, which scares me because I hate rostering the guy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, there's Relative to salary, the only guy that I would think about taking over Drummond at center would be Gobert, and we'll get there. But he's just in an absolutely fantastic spot. 9,100. You need 58 from that price tag right now, somewhere in that neighborhood, to be like super stoked. And that is just not even like a crazy number for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've been projected for like 52 DraftKings.
Yeah, I've been at 52.5. Just
he's my number one center on DraftKings.
Fantastic play. He should smash. He better smash. Well, as per usual, I'll have quite a bit of Drummond and Blake. Reggie Jackson, 5,300 on FanDuel, 5K on DK, 19 on Yahoo. Any interest?
Not overwhelming. Like I don't have a strong take either way on Reggie Jackson.
Okay, same way. I have like roughly the same amount as the field. I don't have much else here.
Me neither.
Alrighty. Yeah, this is something I did see. Mike in YouTube chat said Langston Galloway has hit 12 straight threes.
Wow.
God, I hope I could. Let me see if I could find this tweet because it's relevant to this, and I saw it yesterday. Let me see if I can.
So that means he needs to miss 18 of his next 18.
That's not the right one. 18 for what? Oh,
to just be normal.
Gotcha. Not gonna be able to find this. It might be gone. It was something about how, what happened when the original record was set. Whoever did it, like Terry Porter or something like that, did really weird shit when he got it. I can't remember what it was, though. Let's move on. Houston Rockets hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Hit that like button while you're here, people. It's always helpful. So do that. 117.25 implied total for the Rockets. Third highest on the slate. Highest, if you're not playing in the Wizards-Kings game. 108.25 for the Hornets. That is second lowest, just behind Cleveland. This is a really difficult spot for Charlotte, as evidenced by a 9-point line. Not a great pace spot. We'll start with Harden. 12-4 on FanDuel, 11-4 on DraftKings, 59 on Yahoo. I don't anticipate having a lot of James Harden.
I don't either. I think that in a vacuum, he's fine. I haven't projected as a good play. I'm projected for 62 DraftKings points. It's just that on DraftKings, Beal is 1,700 less expensive, and I think I'll get to more Beal probably with those savings. I like James Harden quite a bit. It's just that I don't think I'll end up with a whole lot of him in my lineups.
Yeah, I would just rather have basically everybody else at the top. I'd rather have Russ. I'd rather have I don't like Beal. I'd rather have Beal. I'd rather have Kyrie.
Mitchell.
Yeah, I'd rather have Kemba, all things considered. Doesn't mean that I don't think Harden is has more fantasy points, but just if that's what I need to do at 11-4 on DK, I basically want everybody except for D'Angelo Russell and Kyle Lowry, and that clear.
The way he grades out for me is basically, as the slate stands right now, I just don't think I'll find it necessary to pay all the way up for him. But if weird stuff were to happen and two great $3,500 plays open up, I would get a ton of Harden because I still haven't projected for 6 or 7 points more than Beal.
Yeah, that's the perfect. He only gets opened up for me on DK if we start getting low priced value.
Right.
Now, his partner in crime is a completely different story. Chris Paul, 8,900 on FanDuel. Completely reasonable price tag if you want any Paul. I think that's fine. He's 7,100 on DraftKings. 26% expected ownership. I got 47 on my first run. How do you feel about Chris Paul here? Am I just downright crazy?
No. So different positions, but would you rather have Paul or Hield on DraftKings?
I got more Hield. Let me just look at everything here. I mean, the answer is just Hield. Hield is 10% less owned as well. So
I also forgot that you already said he was your top play on the slate. But yeah, I also have Field ahead of Paul. I have Paul as a very good play though.
Yeah, I can't imagine not wanting to have a ton of him here. I mean, like, the only downside is that he's just point guard, and that's like not that huge of a problem. As much as I wish that he could just also be in the shooting guard spot, he's checking off the other boxes. But 7,100, like, why is he cheaper than Kyle Lowry?
Lowry's playing better, but I still have no idea.
Like, that one's just not even close for me. Would you rather have Chris Paul or Kemba Walker? Well, obviously, we're getting there.
Yeah. Man, that's close. I think Paul.
I would rather have Chris Paul than any other point guard on the slate at any other salary tier.
Let me see. I don't think that's true for me.
That's fine. You're really good at being wrong.
Scoreboard?
Yeah? Were you talking about the Thrive scoreboard?
Not talking about Thrive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I agree. Scoreboard.
Let me see. I have Satoransky ahead of Paul on DraftKings.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm with you, basically. Except for where you were wrong about him being the top one.
Yeah, like, I have it and it's not close. So, get your Chris Paul in, everybody. After that, I'm pretty happy that this is happening right now, but again, it scares me. Clint Capella, 8K on FanDuel, 7K on DK. He's at 18% and 22% on both sites. I didn't get any.
It's a ridiculously good matchup for Clint Capella.
It is.
And I don't think I'll get a lot either, and it scares the shit out of me.
He's been at 0.97 over his last 30 days. I have him at 1.08. So I'm giving him a full extra tenth to where he's been, which is also not like where he should be. But I think that toes the line of like trying to deal with his whatever status in health.
Yeah,
it's just not coming up. And I think Clint Capella is the perfect testament to only having center eligibility on a site where like you can play 35 other guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I have him as a good play at $7,000. If you ignore the fact that rostering him means you're losing one of Andre Drummond, Rudy Gobert, Ante Zizic. I don't know who else we've talked. I'm Blake Griffin, because we're talking DraftKings.
Like, would you rather have Al Horford or Capella?
I was gonna say Al Horford, who's also in a phenomenal spot.
Yeah, Kevin Love, Pascal Siakam, Al Horford. Like, I'd just rather have all of those guys.
Horford, I think, is really close. But yeah, my assumption is that
I would rather have Clint Capella in a tournament than Al Horford.
My assumption is I end up somewhere around like 5 to 10% Clint Capella on DraftKings.
Okay. Yeah, if he's 22% owned, I'll take my chances. He can kill me because he needs like just under 50 on DK, and that is not a terribly shocking outcome. I'm just not confident in him from a health perspective.
Yeah.
And if I'm not getting him even still, like, I'm not going to try to get more.
Right. We both have him projected for almost 20% more than his recent production.
Right. Yeah. I gave him 32 minutes. That's the spot where I could be light.
I gave him 34.
Okay. That I can change for sure. In fact, that I should change for sure. How many minutes did you give Fareed?
I don't know. I just lost it. It's even playing like mid-20s.
8, 26, 33, 18, 30, 32, 31. But I mean, there are like quirks in every one of those games.
Yeah, I'll probably go like 24.
Okay, I'm at 23 right now. Makes me unhappy, so take that number down and then move 2 over. Move 3 over. All right, perfect. Yeah, either way, I don't see Capella as the guy I want. I'll just take my chances on him being not healthy, especially on the back-to-back. Do you want anybody else here?
Not particularly.
Okay. Go to Charlotte. Kemba Walker, 8,800 on FanDuel, 8,100 on DK, $39 on Yahoo. Pace down spot, bad implied total. Not a great matchup. How are you managing Kemba?
I do like the matchup for Kemba. Houston is tied for the 4th most points per possession allowed in the pick and roll this season.
Kemba's pretty good at it, I hear.
Yeah. It's if you had to take, if you were going to take one stat from a defense and try and predict how Kemba is going to do, that would be the one that I would use.
I agree.
So I mean that's obviously appealing. The minutes are really nice for him. I think 8,100 is a really good price tag. I have him very, very close to Chris Paul when you factor in price.
Yeah, I have Paul by a country mile. That's a bad way to. So, no, I would just rather have I have Chris. Yeah, I do. I have Paul by a ton. I only have Paul a point behind him.
I have Paul, I think, 3 points behind him.
Okay. Man, Rockets defense is putrid in the pick and roll. Absolutely putrid. They give up 0.90 points per possession in the pick and roll.
And Kemba only is in the pick and roll for like 70% of his possessions or something.
Yeah. Rockets are tied for the 4th worst. Nets are at 0.96. Then it's Blazers and Hawks at 0.92. Bulls, Cavs, and Rockets at 0.9, just in case you needed a list of teams that suck at everything.
Kemba, of course, leads the league. 11.8 pick and roll possessions per game, 1 point per possession. He ranks in the 87th percentile in efficiency, despite also leading the league in possessions. And he played a month without Cody Zeller.
Yeah. I'll have some Kemba, but I'm under the field. How are you handling Jeremy Lamb? 6,500 on FanDuel, 58 on DK.
So I was trying to pull up their last game to see if rotations changed. I have him at like 30 minutes right now.
Yeah, I gave him 31.
I just, with the price tag rising, I start to feel a lot less comfortable, especially on this slate where there are plenty of options in that price range. Not necessarily one particular guy that stands out, but it just gets kind of tough for me to trust Jeremy Lamb.
Yeah, 5,800 looks nice for me. I'm going to have some. I hope that just goes away as the day goes on.
Yeah, like I get him at like 30.5 points, which at 5,800 is just kind of a like neutral projection for me.
Marvin Williams, 4,700.
Sure.
That's pretty much how I feel.
Yeah, I mean the minutes have certainly been nice. How many minutes do you have him at?
34.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to do also. He played like 31 last game, but he could have gotten more. He didn't play the final like 6 minutes of the game in a monster loss to Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end up going like 33, I think, but same ballpark.
Ultimately, I'm just not prioritizing much from the Charlotte side here. This whole game is basically just Chris Paul on DraftKings for me.
Chris Paul and Kemba for me.
Head to Utah. The Jazz hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder. 115 implied total for the Utah Jazz. 112 for the Thunder. Massive, massive, massive pace up spot for Utah. They gain 5.5 possessions in my data. That is quite a bit. Rudy Gobert, 9,500 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings, 34 on Yahoo. Relative to the field, I think Rudy Gobert is like one of my favorite people. 6% ownership on FanDuel. I got 23 in my first go. He's at 20% on DraftKings. I got 38. He's grading out so well here.
Yeah, he's my second best center on DraftKings.
No Ricky Rubio, by the way.
Right. Dante Exum back, but he's been out for 2 months, so I assume he just kind of plays backup point guard.
Yeah, I gave him 16 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Not enough that I care to use him, but I don't think Grayson Allen plays now, and you could probably shave a couple minutes off of Royce to 5'9". So yeah,
and you can take backup point guard away from Joe Ingles.
Yep. I'm gonna play quite a bit of Rudy Gobert. I'm gonna play quite a bit of this game, and I feel like it doesn't appear to be all that popular. So Rudy Gobert, I'm in. Donovan Mitchell, I'm in. Derrick Favors, 5,800 on DraftKings, 6% expected ownership. I'm in. I have lots of Derrick Favors right now, so talk me off of that ledge.
I mean, point per minute, he's been great. It's just a matter of getting minutes. I've been projected at 25.
Okay, so I've bet 27. And those 2 minutes are obviously massive in Derrick Favors' outlook. I like your 25 more. Well.
So, I mean, when you're going back and looking, like 22, 25, 24, 32 was the game against Milwaukee where he played center over Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Did you see the quotes and stuff after that?
No.
Rudy Gobert was like, yeah, shout out to coach. Like, I was getting dogged. And I'm glad he made that move.
Yeah,
like,
I like
couldn't have been. You would not see that a lot out of stars and coaches. And Gobert was just like, yo, I get it. I got pounded.
Yeah, especially like just in the context of how Gobert's season has gone with like the All-Star snub that meant a lot to him and everything.
Yeah.
Like that takes a lot to actually come out and be like, yeah, like I played like shit.
Yeah. So I just thought it was really interesting and like a clear testament to sort of the culture in Utah.
Yeah.
And like if your best player, and he's without question the best player on that team, can just take a seat. Like that just doesn't happen.
Right.
I don't know what to do with his minutes, though. What about the 30 spot in the game with Rubio out on February 28th?
Talking Favors?
Yeah.
Who'd they play?
I don't know. Someone.
No, you have it in front of you.
I only have dates. I mean, I can get to that, but
I have it up. It was at Denver, so bigger team for sure.
Yeah.
Looking to see if anything weird happened. So Gobert played 30 in that game. Crowder played 24.
Yeah, what do you have Crowder for here?
Like 30.
Okay, I'm at 29, so I'm going to take 2 minutes from Favors. I'm super nervous right now.
It just seems like a spot where Crowder... It's not that Crowder plays... I don't want to say Crowder plays more minutes than normal, but like Crowder's at 32, 29, 32, 32. And it's not a big Oklahoma City front court. So I would expect, like, there's no reason for me to think that Crowder doesn't close this game.
Yeah, I put Crowder in for 30 now and Favors in for 25. This game certainly fits Crowder.
Right. Like 30 might be low on Crowder.
Even if I do go to Favors at 25, I'm probably going to be, twice the... If the field is at 6, I'm going to be twice the field one way or the other.
Yep.
I'm in for some Jay Crowder. Like, I'm in for some Joe Ingles. It's, clearly gross to do it, but I will use Royce O'Neal quite a bit on FanDuel as a minimum salary drop. No interest in him as a player. He sucks, but... He
sucks for DFS, and he sucks offensively.
Yes.
This is a spot where his defense would be useful, though.
Yeah, I expect him to get a decent amount of run. I gave him 30 minutes.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. So... I like using him as a drop. I'll have a little bit on DraftKings at 3,700, but that will be just... I will hate myself for it. But he makes things fit as of right now. As value comes out, he falls away easily on DK. On FanDuel, it will never really change. Anything else from Utah?
No, I think you summed it up. Like, Ingles, Favors, Crowder are all perfectly fine. Mitchell and Gobert are priorities.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Gobert...
We'll play Favors and Crowder together.
You said don't play Favors and Crowder together?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, you broke up a little to me, and I just wanted to make sure like I was reiterating what you were saying. One last Thrive prop, if you want to take a look at it. Donovan Mitchell, points plus assists. He is at 28. The line is 28.5. You get 95 for the over.
This is almost Buddy Hield level funny to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know where you're going.
I haven't projected for more points than that prop.
I almost do. I'm at 28.1.
I'm at 28.7.
Okay. Without giving you a peek under the curtain, Donovan Mitchell is in a nice spot for me right now.
Wow.
That was ice, not nice.
Yeah,
by the
not.
way.
Yeah.
Just in case. Yeah. So, there you go, Thrive. If you're still listening, or if you weren't listening earlier, if you guys can put together that head-to-head for us, coming for shit my money again tonight. Adam's going down 2-0, and he had home court, so he's going down 2-0 and coming back to my place.
I was quite literally on the road last time.
That's funny. That's good. Yeah, they were. I guess I had home field, which also makes a ton of sense. Oklahoma City, 11-3 on FanDuel for Russ, 10-8 on DK, 54 on Yahoo. George, 10-6 on FanDuel, 9,500 on DK, 48 on Yahoo. I mean, this basically comes down to, how do you feel about Paul George's health? Because if you're playing Russ over him on DraftKings, you're crazy. I love Paul George.
What? Huh? Did you say you're crazy if you're playing him over Westbrook and you love Paul George?
I think you're crazy if you play Russ over Paul George on DraftKings.
Oh, okay. I heard you backwards, and I was super confused.
Okay, no. That 9,500, I got just under 40% on my first crunch. Russ is just a little overpriced for DK, and I don't see them as super different. So if you think that George is healthy, I've got him in for 38 minutes. I'm going to have a ton of Paul George. I don't feel like you're on the same path as me.
No, I'm with you. I was just double checking my rates and stuff. Yeah, I mean, George, since the middle of January when he started playing like all the minutes that Westbrook doesn't play, he's averaged 1.42 points per minute. I have him at 1.39 today and still get him as a great play at that price.
I'm getting a ton. I don't want this to sound like I'm not on Russ. I'm just not on him on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I got a ton. I think he's a really easy place to spend up, especially knowing you have to do 2 point guards. So yeah. I like Russ quite a bit on FanDuel. I still like George, but George on DK is the star piece here.
Yeah, I really like George on DK. I have Russ behind Harden on DK by a little bit.
You have Russ behind Harden on DK?
Yeah. Or they're like $600 apart.
I think I had Russ by like quite a bit.
Yeah, I think you said you did.
Yeah, I would prefer Russ. I have Harden projected for 0.8 of a point more.
Yeah, I have Harden projected for like 4.5 points more.
And they're at basically the same ownership, so I don't like either guy on DraftKings because I think it's just easier to get that second tier. I have no interest in anybody else from Oklahoma City, except for, I guess, Schroeder on FanDuel at 5,300 is feasible.
Yeah, that's fine. One thing to point out with Russ, just matchup wise, and obviously you don't want to dig too deep into this because it's just already accounted for in projections and everything, but it is a really tough matchup for him just because Utah is such a good rim protection team and such an efficient defense. So it's harder for him to get assists because of their defensive efficiency. It's harder for him to score because they're so good at defending the rim. The last game he went off against Utah, but he shot 6 of 13 from 3. That's insane for him. He grabbed 15 rebounds, shot 15 for 29 overall. You're relying on 3-point shooting in this type of matchup for him, though.
Yeah. God. So they last played on February 22nd, overtime game.
Yeah.
In the 3 games that Paul George has played against Utah this year, he played 30 minutes, then 40, then 50. So I clearly like Paul George to go for 60 minutes today. If you don't like him at 60 minutes, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, my God, his stat lines here.
Yeah, craziness.
And I mean, it suits him better. Like, he's the one that should be knocking down threes, not Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook should basically never shoot them.
Yeah, like I
Not even
remember the
basically,
last
like
game.
he just shouldn't.
I remember the last game because one of my friends had a sweat like he was winning a tournament and just needed to, Westbrook not to score like 60 something points. And I'm watching the game and it's just like Westbrook makes a three, Westbrook makes a three, Westbrook makes a three. And I was just like, yeah, you're running pretty bad here.
Yeah, like people think that Rondo is a bad 3-point shooter. He looks like Reggie Miller compared to Russ.
Yeah. Like even the announcers during that game were just laughing at like Westbrook making all these threes.
And like I feel like it never gets talked about. Like the way that it should.
Yeah, it's because he just racks up his points and people just overlook it.
Yeah, he is an atrocious shooter.
Like people point out that Rondo's a bad shooter because he also doesn't score.
Yeah. Rondo's probably shot 5 to 6% higher than Russ for like a career.
Right.
Craziness. Ready to close this out?
Yeah.
Clippers in Boston. This is not the late night hammer that we normally look for. A 10:30 start. A middling implied total. Boston defense is solid. So we'll start on the Clippers side where they are 1-point underdogs at home. Montrezl Harrell is 7,200 on FanDuel, 6,200 on DK, and $25 on Yahoo. He's at 7% ownership on both sites. I want to have a little bit more than that. I think Harrell is in an okay spot here.
It's a strong endorsement. Yeah. It reminds me of that commercial where the guy's getting the tattoo. I don't remember what the commercial's for, but you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Oh, the guy's getting the tattoo, and the tattoo artist says something like, "It's okay. I'm one of the tattoo artists in town." And
I
he's
have
like,
seen that.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of commercials. Nope, we don't have cable, so
Okay. Yeah.
I have to like hope that Hulu has commercials on that particular show, which is not really a hope.
Yeah, I'll say what.
But that's the only way that I'm going to see them.
6,200 Harrell's fine to me. I have him behind Portis, as we already talked about.
Yeah, nobody on this team is particularly popular, and nobody on this team is grading out better than Harrell for me. So I don't have anybody in double digits, and we're only projecting Lou Will and Gallo in the low double digits. So I don't have any real hot takes here unless you do.
I think that Williams is actually my favorite play, but it's kind of just splitting hairs between him, Gallo, and Harrell.
I'm not going to have much of this Clippers side outside of Harrell. Boston, on the other hand.
Gallo's usage since the trade deadline's through the roof.
Yeah, I've got him at 27% for the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, he actually is projecting really well for me.
I don't get much.
I don't like it, but
sure.
I mean, he's at 1.2 points per minute since the deadline.
Yeah, I have him at like 1.05 for this game.
Right now, using his rates since the Harris trade, I'm at 1.25.
Wow. Yeah, we are very different on Gallo.
I need to get that lower, I think.
By the way, you might have some Wowie issues today, and they're not going to get fixed today.
Yeah, okay.
Just FYI. So I'm told from Wowie.
Cool.
I tried to look at the Raptors since the deadline to recalibrate all the rates because I had everything in for Kawhi being out. And I got like 72 minutes of Kyle Lowry on the floor with no other settings. And I was just like, fuck. Then all of a sudden, the Wowie Slack got a message like, hey, we were having some issues with this. I was like, oh, by the way, it's also an issue for the Raptors. And he said they were going to rebuild all the tables, but that can't happen today. So
yeah,
if you're looking for Wowie, guys, it's probably going to be a problem today. Celtics, a little bit of a pace-up spot. Perfectly acceptable defensive matchup. 9,800 for Kyrie Irving on FanDuel, 8,900 on DraftKings, 39 on Yahoo. He's a little popular, and I am under the field. How do you feel about Kyrie?
Well, first of all, I got Gallinari back down to like a reasonable 34.8 projection on DraftKings.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kyrie. I don't like him as much as I like Mitchell. I don't like him as much as I like Beal.
I just don't like him all that much.
Pat
A
Bev.
date with Bev doesn't help. It's not like I factor that specific thing in, but
No, but Pat Bev has been just playing out of his mind.
yeah, and I'm sure this is the type of thing that he's going to get up for.
Yeah.
That's how he works.
Did you see him talking shit to Paul George on Twitter?
I didn't.
Yeah, because George was like complaining about the lack of foul calls when they played the Clippers, and Beverly just called him out and was just like, "I didn't take you as an excuse, guy. Just admit that I won that one."
I love him, dude. He's crazy. Horford, 7,100 on FanDuel, 66 on DK. I like him on DK, but it's crazy. His FanDuel price is better than his DraftKings price. He is at the same ownership on both sites. He has that 20% expected on DraftKings. That's very surprising to me. Although I assume that is because of Tatum being questionable.
Well, he's also a power forward.
That helps too.
Wow. So over the last 2 months, man, I'm going to get a lot of Kyrie if I stick with that. 1.36 points per minute with Horford on the floor for Kyrie, 30.3% usage, 37.5% assist percentage.
It's a lot.
That would make him like one of my top point guards on the slate on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough sell for me.
8,900 is a really nice price tag.
It is. Let me load him up here. Alrighty, Kyrie Irving. So I have him as basically a coin flip with Kemba. And I have him behind Donovan Mitchell.
How many minutes do you have him at?
36.
Okay, yeah, so do I. I have him as like a coin flip with Donovan Mitchell.
And ahead of Kemba?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're differing a little bit on Kyrie. I'll take my victory lap later. So, like I mentioned, Jayson Tatum questionable. He's at 6,300 on FanDuel and 5,900 on DraftKings. If he plays, I love Tatum, particularly on FanDuel. His price is fantastic, and he is at a spot where, like, I think he grades out better than everybody else that's around him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I'd rather have Tatum than Portis, Favors, Ibaka, Fareed, Marvin Williams, Jeremy Grant, Marcus Morris, Kurucs. Like, those are all of the dudes that are around him, and I would greatly prefer him to all of them.
Yeah, that seems right to me.
So Tatum is the guy I want the most. On FanDuel, it's going to be pretty tricky. I would imagine we don't have any Tatum news by lock. Who knows? So hopefully we do. But if he ends up being in, I'm going to have quite a bit of Tatum.
They should have shoot around today, right? They didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, so we might know this afternoon. After that, I'm kind of good here.
Yeah, the 4,500 from Morris on DK seems like it should be appealing, but I'm still not really getting a lot.
Yeah, if Tatum's out, obviously this, you end up liking Morris, you end up liking Gordon Hayward, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, like that's just where those minutes probably go. I think that's it. So the Thrive contest has been created, so I'm told. Game 2 tonight. I take the 2-0 lead, heading back to my house. You got anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. Deep dive from Lofty will be out in the early afternoon. Deeper dive from 5 to 6. Adam and Lofty running it back. And then from 6 to 7, myself and Fast Eddie Fear taking you all the way up until lock. Stay tuned for everything else that we have out content-wise. I feel like I should be plugging something else. NBA Strategy is the promo code, 50% off your first month. Awesemo Strat is the promo code for Thrive. If you go to bit.ly/Awesemo, you can get a free $5 without a deposit. Check that out. And pay attention to Twitter, where I will take my victory lap tomorrow morning from my second straight Thrive victory. If you lose this one, how much will it irritate you?
0.
See that now you're just trying to hurt me. Now you're just trying to hurt me. I'm gonna get like a chain made if I win instead of like a trophy.
I can't even see you on screen during our shows, so
that's fine. It'll be for my benefit. I'll just start. I'll start letting you see me, and I'll crop my screen differently. Alrighty. Best of luck, everybody. We will talk to you again soon.